Next on Good Morning Colorado, one person is dead and two others are recovering this morning after a fire broke out at their townhome. We'll show you why Colorado Springs police are investigating. And one young boy in Colorado Springs had a bit of a rude awakening this weekend. We'll show you why his family may be moving his bed away from the window.
We're tracking your front as it makes its way through the region today. We'll let you know what it does to our temperatures as we go through today and tomorrow, coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks for joining us this morning. It's 8 a.m. Sunday, April 12th. I'm Emily Allen in for Bonnie Silkman. Two people are recovering this morning after their townhome was burned to the ground. Colorado Springs police report that the fire began around 3 yesterday afternoon in the 3800 block of Constitution Avenue. One person was killed, and police tell us that the Violent Crimes Unit is now investigating. Now, this is standard procedure for deadly fires, and two other people who were inside the home were also taken to the hospital, but right now are in stable condition. Firefighters tell us that only one unit caught fire, and they were able to put it out within an hour. One woman was driving by the house when she saw the flames.
As we come up, I said, oh my gosh, that's a fire. And when we pulled up, we got here just before the ambulance and the rest of the fire wagons got here. And after we got here, we saw them taking a man out on stretcher, which was burnt pretty bad.
They're just in the early stages of the investigation to try and determine what happened.
The investigation is ongoing, but police say there are no threats to the surrounding area. Now, a 2-year-old in Colorado Springs is recovering this morning after he fell from a third-floor apartment window. It happened around 9:30 yesterday morning at the Newport Square Apartments, which is just south of the intersection of Academy and Austin Bluffs. Now, fortunately, there was a bush on the ground, and that was able to break the boy's fall, but he does have a broken arm. Police say the boy fell through a screen window after he woke up in his bed beside the window and leaned against that screen. Now, if it was not for that bush, the boy could have been seriously hurt. Police consider the fall an accident, and the family will not be charged. KRDO News Channel 13 Scott Harrison spoke with the fire department, rescuers, and neighbors.
This is Ryan, the boy who fell from his bedroom window. At 2 years old, he's too young to realize how close he came to not being here. But the cast on his broken arm doesn't bother him, and he seems fine. His family doesn't speak English, but his mother is obviously relieved. Next-door neighbor David Franklin sums up the mood.
That boy is very lucky.
Several neighbors say they were surprised that this happened, especially since new windows and screens were installed at this complex a month ago. We tried to contact apartment managers. They were unavailable for comment on the situation. Franklin says his new window screens have easily pushed out several times. We saw some windows with missing screens.
Yes, they're better for insulation, and they lock. But obviously the screen just falls right out.
And the screens bear a sobering warning, one that Ryan's mother may have been unable to read.
The screen will not stop child from falling out window.
The Springs Fire Department says no screen is designed to do that. So don't place children's beds directly under a window.
So, you know, as we get into these summer times, make sure that we don't have cribs, furniture, those kind of things around, especially a child that may be waking up from a nap or, you know, that isn't currently being watched.
In Colorado Springs, Scott Harrison, KRDO News Channel 13.
Thanks, Scott. New this morning, Colorado Springs police say that a motorcyclist was involved in a crash near the intersection of North Union and Constitution. Investigators say that two motorcycles were racing northbound on Union. One of them failed to slow for traffic and hit a vehicle moving onto Constitution. The driver of the motorcycle was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and cited for a DUI. The driver of the vehicle was not hurt. Now, the other motorcyclist left the scene before police arrived. Police in Aurora say that two men were killed after a car crash. Officers say both men were trapped inside the car after it rolled and then caught fire. A third man was ejected and was later taken to the hospital. Now, the exact cause of the crash is currently under investigation, and the names of the victims have not been released. Now, law enforcement personnel in Larimer County say they're not immune to problems of distracted driving either. Now, officers say that in addition to phones, GPS systems, and car radios, they also have to deal with onboard computers and radio communications. According to Fort Collins, Colorado, police officers were found at fault in at least 7 distracted driving incidences. 2 of those officers were cited. Officials in Rocky Mountain National Park are considering closing certain areas of the park due to overcrowding. They say too many people and too many vehicles are causing problems for the parks and trails and roads. Now, last year, the park saw more than 3.4 million visitors. Now, let's get a check of weather with Storm Tracker 13's Jay Polk. So, Jay, today will be a nice day for everyone to get out to some of those state parks.
A perfect day for you to make your debut with us on Good Morning Colorado. Nice to see you. As you know, it's waking up kind of early, admittedly, but as you wake up kind of early this morning, you're seeing very nice conditions, very mild temperatures out there. That's what we're going to be tracking as we go through the next week around southern Colorado. Emily, we're going to see a mild Sunday for us. But a front makes its way through the region as we go through our overnight tonight, and that leads to a cooler day on Monday. Rain and, yes, snow is in the forecast later on as we see another system come towards the area. This one has a more dramatic push of cool air attached to it, and so we're going to see a chance for some of that snow to mix in with some rain, especially as you head up above 8,000 and 9,000 feet up to the Woodland Park level and above that as you go into Teller County. From Motor City with a Philong Signature Kia camera, it's 50 degrees and we have a calm wind out there. Nice blue skies mixed in with a few clouds this morning. 55 at the Springs Airport, 51 in Pueblo, 53 in Canyon City. Temperatures in the mid to upper 40s out in the plains. There are some lower 50s around there as well. 51 up at Denver, 20s, 30s, and 40s up in the high country. 29 the current temperature in Leadville. It's 47 in Salida. Skycast as we push it through our Sunday afternoon. You can see this front on the Skycast very nicely, this bank of clouds with a few showers attached, you'll notice, in portions of Teller County and also into El Paso County later on this evening. It's a small possibility for a shower, but it is there, so it is indicated here as you look at your 3 o'clock day planner for today. Temperature sitting in the lower to middle to upper 70s in the Springs and in Pueblo. Lower to middle 60s at noon, already above the average highs by noon, and we top out with temperatures about 15 or so degrees above the normal to this point in the year. Complete details in that 7-day forecast let you know what those temperatures look like through the next 7 days. Look all around the region to show you that front, and we'll show you those details coming up in just a few minutes. Emily, back to you.
Thanks, Jay. After months of speculation, Hillary Clinton will be announcing her candidacy for president today. Ahead on Good Morning Colorado, we'll show you how both her supporters and opponents are responding to the idea of another Clinton running for president.